there, this is Katie Saint from Fox Valley Autism, and this is part 3 of the natural environment teaching training for line therapists. This topic is conversation skills. So this is a big deal, something we really try to develop with our kiddos, getting them to a place where they can have full, meaningful conversations. So it starts at a basic level where we're teaching them to answer WH questions such as why or how or who or where. And so once they're to a point where they can answer those straightforward WH questions, we start to intentionally insert situations where we can have conversations with them. So we pick activities like do a puzzle, go for a walk, play a game where you can talk about things. And so just so that the opportunity is there, so that you can say, hey, how was your day? How did you feel about this? What do you want to do later? What's a fun activity? So you just try to get that conversation going. One thing that we'd like to discourage you from doing is reinforcing one-sided conversations. A lot of our clients will be passionate about one topic and they will talk to you until they are blue in the face about that one topic. And that's great for bonding with the client and building that relationship with them. But if we're working on conversation skills, we want them reading their audience and we want them to see, hey, I've been talking for a really long time and the other person hasn't really had the opportunity to contribute much, or maybe they don't really care about this topic, so I should keep it brief and I should pay attention to those nonverbals. Sometimes we'll have therapists intentionally look bored and then ask the client, like, hey, what did my face look like? Did I look interested? How could you tell if I was interested or not? And then go back and talk about that with the client. And then you role play different situations where you act really interested one time and you act bored another time. Maybe you act offended or annoyed. And you just talk that through with the client to help them understand. Sometimes we'll pull out pictures, photo albums, and have the client tell us, like, what happened in these pictures? Tell me stories about what's going on here, just to get them talking. And so you really want to increase the back and forth. But it shouldn't just be about topics they care about. Sometimes intentionally tell them stories. Tell them about a family activity maybe you did, or tell them about your dog, things like that. And then prompt them to ask you follow-up questions. What's your dog's name? What kind of dog is he? What do you do with your dog? Do you like to take him on walks? Does he like to catch a ball? Things like that, so that they're taking interest in you as well, because that's needed for meaningful relationships. So when it comes to storytelling as well, we want their stories to have a point. We want people to understand, like, why they're telling the story and what the point of it is. So sometimes our kids can miss that, and so it's important that you help a child work through that and help them format their stories with a beginning, middle, and end, so that when they talk, it has meaning. Along the lines of conversation, you step into things like sarcasm, friendly teasing, joking around, things like that. And so role play in those situations are really helpful as well. Or even watching a really short clip of a TV show is helpful, and then you pause it and say, okay, was that sarcasm or were they serious? What did the other people's nonverbals mean? How did they feel about what that person was saying just based on what their face looked like? So you're breaking all of that down so that the client gets more familiar with analyzing those types of things. So what you're doing for conversation skills is looking for as many opportunities as you can to prompt conversation, and then you're trying to have a lot of back and forth a lot of meaning and points, having them reading nonverbals and all of that kind of stuff. So, all right, that's the end of video 3 for conversation skills.